Hi, my name is Melissa Danner, and I'd like to share with you how I decided to leave my job, my career of teaching in the public school system, to homeschool, and how I experienced God's provision through all of this. So I was a public school teacher in middle school for 16 years. I have two daughters. One is 15 years old and the other is 10. I'm married. I have a husband who is also a public school teacher. We've been married for 21 years. When I went into teaching, I thought this was going to be the career that I would retire in, and I never saw myself homeschooling my children. I never saw myself leaving the job. I did love teaching. I loved what I did and connecting with students. But over those 16 years of me teaching, the public school system drastically changed. It was very different from when I had started. After I had my youngest, I realized my heart was it was for my children, it was for my family. I wanted to spend way more time with my own children than the students that I was teaching, and my heart started turning. So I started just grappling with this decision of, I want to be at home. Things were happening in my school building that were really disturbing, and I knew that I wasn't supposed to be there. And my oldest daughter was in fourth grade at the time. She was actually in the same school district that my husband and I taught in, and we were seeing things happening in her school, and we were seeing things happening in the middle school and in the high school, and there were appalling things. There were things that were very disturbing and things that were being taught. I felt like my husband and I had this kind of inside scoop of things that were coming down the pike. We didn't want our girls to be a part of that culture. And so, so I had taught for 16 years. And so when my youngest was born, I just knew that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and homeschool and be part of our church's co-op, our hybrid school. I started just grappling and wrestling with these thoughts of how can we make this work? Am I even equipped? Am I even capable of teaching my own children? I knew I could teach other people's children, but to teach my own, it's a whole different story. And did I have the capacity to actually educate my children at all different levels and different subject matters? But I knew what I heard. I knew the calling that God wanted me to come out of that public school system and to bring my children out of that. When our youngest was about to start kindergarten in the spring, I had come to my husband and I shared with him just, this is what's been on my heart for the past really year, that I want to be with my family. And we took about a month and a half because it was a shock for him. I was scared to share with him that I wanted to stay home, because it meant going from a 2-income to 1, and how would we make this happen? Like that was a stretch. But I had been working through just my emotions and my thoughts, and then was able to come to my husband with just this conviction of, like, this is what I know to do. We had to look at the reality of, how will bills be paid? How will we have money for groceries and put food on the table? If we needed to move, we needed to look at that, because I had told my husband, I said, I am willing to sell our home. I'm willing to sell whatever we need to make this happen. Because I knew as the mother of my children, I wanted them to have and receive the best education possible. I didn't want to leave it up to the public school system of what we were seeing happening. I knew that I did not want my children to be a part of that and to be influenced, seeing what was happening even in our nation, even now, looking back. I'm so thankful that we made the decision to pull our, well, at that time it was our oldest daughter who was in public school, and our youngest was, she hadn't started school yet. She was in preschool and daycare. And so we knew we wanted our youngest to start her schooling with homeschool and being part of our church's homeschool hybrid. If you are struggling, you've come to the point of, do I homeschool? Do I pull my children out of the public school system or even private school? I want to encourage you to do so. You will have provision, everything that you need to be able to teach and educate and equip your children for the future. You actually will have everything that you need to do that, emotionally, physically, financially. It can work. You can make it happen on one income. We are doing it. This is our 6th year of homeschooling, and we've made it work. And as a believer, God has provided countless times for us, even just in our capacity from mine to be patient with my children while teaching and educating them. And financially, there's been provision. Creative solutions we have figured out over the years, and budgeting and being mindful of how much we spend, and you can make it work. I hope this encourages you. Be blessed. Thank you for listening.